Yes, I used the good fabric. Finally. One of those times when I pulled out the nice stuff out of the stash and I sewed something and it worked out. And on a quest for wrinkle release spray and a little sewing tip that some of you may know, but some of you may not. Well, hello there. Welcome to new viewers. And thank you for coming back, returning viewers. I'm Janine, and this is Janine Sews. Earlier this year, I bought 2 pieces of fabric from Core Fabrics in Montreal because I wanted a Breton top and a rugby top. I've sewn the Breton top. The fabric that I bought is called, I have to look at this, Breton Stripe Organic Cotton Jersey Knit, and it's 100% organic cotton. It has about 30% stretch. That's what they say. I don't know about that. But this is a very substantial cotton that feels not light, but not beefy. And it feels a lot like Breton tops that I've purchased, ready-to-wear ones that I've purchased in the past. What is it about Breton tops that I like? I like stripes, number one. Also, I think that it's a nice style. It's a classic, elegant, very French style that doesn't look out of place anywhere, really. You can wear a Breton top with a skirt if you're going somewhere dressier, underneath a jacket, with jeans, with ankle-length pants, anything. It's just a great addition to the wardrobe. I have sewn Breton tops a couple of times in the past. And the pattern that I used previously was the one from the Great British Sewing Bee book, From Stitch to Style. And they have a nice Breton top pattern there. I sewed it once in a gray mystery knit and once in a jersey that had a lot of stretch and was much drapier. I think I talked about one in a video, and I'm pretty sure I talked about the other in a blog post. I'm going to link those down below, and if there's a video, it's up here. But what I didn't like about that particular pattern was that the boat neck is so wide that my bra straps always showed. And it would also slide one way or the other. I've got narrow shoulders, but it just wasn't a great fit. So when I made it the last time, I actually sewed in some little tabs to make the boat neck less wide. This time around, I wanted to start with a fresh pattern and try something new. And I found this particular pattern, which is from Core Patterns, the sister company of Core Fabrics. And this is called the Marine Top, and it's a Breton top pattern. When I was buying the pattern, I looked at different pictures of it, and I just want to throw in something here. It used to be really great when you could go to Instagram and you could type in the name of a pattern and you'd get all the pictures of that pattern, of that make. And now you can't do that anymore because who knows what Instagram is doing. I had to rely on pictures from the website for Core Patterns and also the few that I could find just in a web search. And what I didn't like about the pattern was the sleeves, because they looked really wide and kind of like flare legs, except it was for the sleeves. When I looked at the pattern piece, I saw that the grain line went right down the middle of the sleeve, so decided that I would cut the sleeve as it was, and if I wanted to make it a little more narrow, I could after it was sewn up. But when I was checking for that, I noticed that the sleeves were short. I guess I have very long arms. So I added 1 3/4 inches of length to the sleeves, and otherwise I cut a straight size 18. Of course, the challenge working with stripes is matching the stripes. And I did a pretty good job, except on the sleeves, because I broke that cardinal rule and I cut things double. I should have cut each sleeve separately because I couldn't really see how well the underneath piece of fabric was lined up. So, lesson for next time. It's not bad. The sleeves just aren't quite perfect. It's a quick sew. Front, back, sleeves. There is an option to have a wider facing for the neckband, and that's the option that I chose, and then I top stitched on it. But because of the color thread that I used, you can barely see it. So I'll pop in a picture of this so you can see where the wide neckband fits. The sides have a little bit of interesting, there's a little slash opening on it, and I was so pleased that the stripes lined up on it, because that's somewhere it would have been super noticeable. But it lined up just right, and my thread color matched well. So it seemed to be one of those projects that kind of came together really nicely. I did have to unpick a little bit of top stitching, but I didn't have to really do much unpicking, which is kind of a change for me. Now the sleeves, when it was done, they are too wide. They're a little big. They're not skin tight like some Breton tops, but I think that's a nice shape. You can see the fabric isn't perfectly lined up, but they're also a little too short still, I think. Next time I'll probably add another inch. I can always make a deeper cuff or a deeper hem if it's a little bit too long, but I think better too long than too short. This was a really fast make. I love projects where it's a fast make. And it went together nicely. And I do like the shape of it because it's got some shape to it, but it's not too close fitting. And I think that works really well with this fabric because the fabric is not super drapey, so it kind of stands out against your body. The fabric absolutely makes this top. This fabric is a little more expensive. I think it's worth it. Yeah, it's a nice top that I suspect will be in my closet for a few years at least. I also bought something. I'm going to show you. I just purchased it. I don't have any relationship to the company or anything. It's this unbelt. You might find something like this somewhere. Talking about tucking things in, I wanted to get a little belt so I could tuck things in and it would look a little more tidy because I don't really have any belts anymore. And I found this belt and it's elasticated, and what I think is ingenious, the belt buckle is, I'll have to do a close-up of this. The belt buckle is very flat and it keeps, you know, the button that always sticks up, it keeps it flat. So I thought that was quite ingenious. I do have a little tip to share with you today. On this top, there's fusible interfacing on the inside of the neck opening facing. I really hate wasting time doing the fussy little cutting for interfacing, and I never get it right because the interfacing is so light and you can't get things to just crisply fold. Anyway, what I have started doing is using a silicone baking mat when I'm working with interfacing. So I cut out the fabric for the facing, and then I cut out the interfacing for the facing, didn't trim it down or anything. I put the silicone baking mat on the ironing board, and then the fabric, and then the interfacing on top. So I use a pressing cloth and just put that right on top of the fusible interfacing, of course, with the glue side against the fabric, and I just press it. And if the interfacing hangs over the edge, it doesn't stick because of the silicone baking sheet. And this is my theory. It might be wrong. I think the steam that sits when you've got the baking sheet there, I think that steam helps the interfacing affix more securely. I've been doing this for a few months and it seems to be working really well. And I love not having to worry about that little teeny tiny corner of interfacing that might get onto the ironing board. It saves some time. So that's my little tip for the day. Get yourself a brand new silicone baking sheet and add that to your pressing arsenal in the sewing room. As I mentioned at the beginning, I've been doing a little bit of lab work, trying to create my own wrinkle release spray. When we lived in the States, I used to buy Downy wrinkle release spray, and I'd use it at home. I'd take it with me when we traveled. Well, I can't find it anywhere, not in Canada. And when I was in the States earlier this year, I looked for it, couldn't find it. And I'm not going to order it online. I figure it's something that's pretty simple. I can probably make my own and it will cost a lot less. I've been looking at different concoctions people have posted online. Everything from one version where you use fabric softener, rubbing alcohol, and vinegar to hair conditioner and water. And I thought I would start with the one that sounded like it was closest to Downy Wrinkle Release. Now, if you've never used this product, it's a spray bottle that has a fine mist, and what you spray on your clothes causes wrinkles to relax. So you just, if you've got something that you've taken with you when you're traveling, you just mist it gently and you can smooth out the wrinkles, or you can just kind of tug them and the wrinkles will just relax. So you don't look quite as rumpled. And I do use this when we're traveling locally or internationally, and I also keep a bottle in my gym bag, but can't find it. So I did a little test, and I started with one of the recipes, and here's my little test. I'm going to try to make a version of wrinkle release spray because I can't find this in the stores. I have a spray bottle with the nozzle, a tablespoon, 2 cups of water, and I have some fabric softener. Apparently, all you do is 2 cups of water, and 2 tablespoons, 2 to 3 tablespoons, I'm going to use 2, of fabric softener. This is just fleecy Canadian fabric softener. Give it a really good shake first. Super thick. Gonna put in just a touch more because I think I was a tiny bit short in the first tablespoon. There we go. I'm gonna give it a really good shake. And before I take it upstairs and try it on some clothes, I'm just going to test the consistency, comparing this to the Downy Wrinkle Release Spray. My spray. Yeah, I can certainly smell the fabric softener and the Downy. Yeah, I can smell the Downy. So we'll take this upstairs and test it. Okay, I'm going to test my homemade wrinkle release spray. Cotton, 95% cotton, 5% elastin. And spray it the same way I normally would with the expensive stuff. Can really smell I can really smell the fabric softener in it. So that looks really good from the front. Try the back, and then I'm going to hang these and let them dry. We'll take a look at them in a few minutes. And this isn't in really bad shape, but this is about how things would be when I've traveled, when I've packed. Things get really creased. And that's really what I want this for, is for travel. So give this a little spray. And finally, linen. And this is one where I think it'll show if there's any staining that comes out of my mix. You can see this has been hanging in the closet since last summer. And we'll give it a good spray. Now, I know on the store-bought one it says lightly mist. I kind of misted it a little bit more, but I also want to see if there is going to be any staining from the fabric softener that's mixed with the water. We'll do the back. I'm going to lightly mist the back. We'll try that. Okay, the results of the test. And there was previously a spot here and here. That's not from this test. I sprayed all the clothes about half an hour ago. This top still has a little bit of drying to do, but it certainly looks a lot more wrinkle-free than it did before. You can really see it's still a little damp right here. Absolutely wearable. The dress. I had sprayed it here in the small of the back and on the seat, and those wrinkles are all gone. Makes this very wearable. And again, this is 100% cotton. And finally, the linen, which looks so much better than it did. Very wearable. Still looks like linen, but it doesn't look like it was just picked up off the floor. I don't see any stains or marks from the spray, so I think this is a really good alternative. There's quite a fabric softener fragrance. And I think I have a bottle of fabric softener around here that has no fragrance. That's probably what I'd use when I make this to take it for travel, because this really does, at the moment, smell like fabric softener. Don't know how long it'll take for that fragrance to dissipate, but if I'm using this when I travel, I'm not going to spray things and let them hang for a week to air out. I'll spray them, let them dry, and wear them. But again, a good option. Worked pretty well, and I don't think that it has stained my clothes. So again, the recipe that I used was 2 cups of water with 2 tablespoons of fabric softener. If I have any great thoughts about this in the coming weeks when I look at those clothes, and I will try it again, not just on my clothes. I actually sprayed my sheets with it this morning to see if they look really crisp when I go to bed tonight. But I'll let you know if I have any new information or if I try something else, some other recipe. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you are having a wonderful time and are being very productive, or are enjoying sitting in the sun reading a book or planting your garden. Whatever sounds like fun to you this weekend. I will see you soon. Have a great week. Take care.